Okay, so welcome to our first Heaven on Earth Zoom group. My name is Gary Eby, and please introduce yourselves.
David Spinney.
Kat Garrido.
Kat, welcome.
Thank you.
So we have a little process we're going to use here. It's my feeling, and I don't know about you, you can feel to disagree anytime you wish. It's my feeling that too much crazy and stressful stuff is going on in our nation and in the world. And it's time to make some sort of a paradigm shift from the negative to the positive. How does that sound? Does that make any sense to you guys?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so I also have this feeling that heaven is not just a place per se, it is a state of positive consciousness. It's about the heart and holding on to positive vibes and positive thoughts. So that's what we're going to try to facilitate today, this sense of a little bit of inspiration and staying uplifted and smiling and laughing. That's going to put us in a heaven on earth zone. And that's what I'm going to try to do. So the first step is to sort of ground yourself, center yourself. I'm going to play a little meditation music. And just take a few minutes as I get this going. Let's see here. All right, try this. Just take a few minutes to center yourself.
Okay.
Okay,
There we
hi,
are.
welcome, Steve. We're just getting started. We're sort of grounding ourselves in some meditation music. Just relax for a few minutes. Okay. Okay, I want to welcome Steve to the group. We've got 4 people. We're a success right now. We're a roaring success. How was that music for you? Did it sort of relax you a little bit? I know that Steve came in a little bit late, but I thought it would be good to sort of start us off with opening our minds and heart to sharing some positive things. How does that sound to you?
Meditation's always good.
Okay. And I want to give you a feel for what I think heaven and earth is all about. Let me show you this picture. This is where I like to be. Look at that. How is that? I like to be right there by the ocean. That's my favorite place for heaven on earth. Okay. So without further ado, there are 3 questions I'm going to be asking people to sort of get us in this state of positive consciousness. Here's the first question. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but I encourage you to share something positive with us that you've experienced in the last 30 days. Why should you do that? Because it helps us connect. It might make us smile. It's going to get us on a positive frequency. So who would like to share something positive that they've experienced in the last 30 days, despite all that crazy stuff and stressful experiences that we saw on television a couple of days ago? I want to stay geared to this kind of heaven on earth. All right. So who would like to start with sharing a little something good that you've experienced?
Well, I will.
Go ahead, David.
I'm David, by the way. Hi. And we are in Talent, and the Almeida fire roared through all around our area. Everywhere we look around our little subdivision is obliterated.
Wow.
And the fire took off most of the fence behind on the other side of the alley behind our house, and it stopped there. We survived. We still have a home. Thank God. And yesterday they finally rebuilt the fence. So now it's a huge sign of progress of recovering and returning from the ill effects of the Almeida fire. It's kind of symbolic to me. And we have a rock garden that was against the old fence, and I think that's where the fire department made their stand, because the rock garden was kind of a barrier to keep the fire from raging on. So we are going to be rebuilding our rock garden now.
Well, that's fantastic. And what a blessing that your home was spared, right?
Exactly.
Oh man, it doesn't get any better than that. That sounds like a little bit of a heaven on earth experience.
Yeah. So I'm very grateful to have our fence back.
Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? I have a little bit to share, but I always ask you guys first. Kathy or Steve, anything good you want to share? Something good that happened?
Right, Kathy.
Hi, and if you'd like to call me Kat, I would appreciate that.
Kat. All right.
Yeah, just K-A-T.
We got it. Kat.
Yeah. One of my favorite memories over the last 30 days was my children were not able to come home for Christmas. And I had a lot of dread, because Christmas is a huge, that's the one holiday of the year that I actually lose a little bit of control over. And it's all centered on family. And so it was like, okay, how do I get through Christmas? And both my children had agreed to do a Zoom call, and David was loving enough that he arranged it. And I thought, this will be nice, but will it really have that connection? And 3 hours later, I was so happy, with the way the Zoom call had gone. It was like everybody was able to forget that they were on camera. It was so nourishing. And to see that regardless of restrictions, that the family bond was still intact and alive was unbelievably nourishing to my soul.
And there was a heck of a lot of laughter.
That sounds wonderful. Isn't it nice to realize that maybe there's some good stuff to technology?
Yeah.
After all the bad stuff we've been seeing. Thank you, Kat, for sharing. Steve, by the way,
Yeah,
where are you from, Steve?
Well, right now I'm in Santa Cruz. That's where I live.
Oh, that's right.
I recently spent, I work for Stanford University, so we get 2 weeks off for the winter break.
All right.
And I spent almost the entirety of that winter break driving around Oregon.
Oh, wow.
Ashland, Medford, up to Bend, Klamath Falls. Looking at properties, looking at things, maybe want to come up and buy a house, but certainly would like to live in the Oregon area. And driving around, and it was just, there's such beautiful sights, and driving through the snow, and even hanging out in Ashland, walking Lithia Park, walked from one end to the other, and just saw how beautiful it was, and just see a great deal of beauty in the world. And I think, heaven on earth and hell on earth is right here, right now, depending on which set of eyes we choose to look through. And it's always a choice in every moment.
Excellent point. Excellent point. So if you don't mind, what do you do for at Stanford or?
I'm a computer programmer, and
Ah,
I'm living in Santa Cruz now. I work remotely all the time. I have ever since COVID came out. And then recently they talked about, if someone wanted to work from out of state, that was an option. And so I have, exactly. And so I got approval from my boss, my boss's boss, and his boss, and his boss. So it's all approved. I just have to kind of do it. I've spent the past year kind of downsizing, getting rid of stuff. 'Cause I look at all my stuff, and it's just stuff. It's just stuff. And even when I drive around and I'm looking at a house to buy, and I'm going, wow, it's more expensive than I thought.
yeah, right.
Although, I if I had bought a house here 5 years ago in the Bay Area, then I wouldn't have any worry. I'd just come plunk down some cash. But I mean, I have some for down payment, and I'm already on Social Security because I'm 71. But I'm a really strong hiker and mountain biker, and I'm kind of avid outdoor person. And so I'm still kind of active, kind of like a teenager. So I'm not. I don't know. It's hard to decide where to settle down. I'm still working. I'm still doing my work, and I may work for another year or two. So I have to just kind of figure out what I'm going to do and what community I'm going to settle into. So,
Well, I'm sure it's going to work out for you, and it's a blessing for you to go to continue to work online. I mean, that sounds like a little bit of a heaven on earth attitude or experience.
hmm
Um,
yeah, it definitely is.
Not everybody is so fortunate, but I think it's great that you're interested in Oregon, and all of us here today we love Oregon, and this state is an amazing, wonderful place to live. So hopefully you will find your own niche here when that's appropriate for you.
Yeah.
Thank all of you for sharing some good stuff. I just want to share a little bit about myself, and then we'll go on to the second question, if you don't mind. I know I put some of this on Meetup, but I am a retired social worker, mental health counselor, addiction therapist. I'm the author of a couple of spiritual self-help books, and currently I'm the music director at Unity of Medford. And my wife is the spiritual leader there, Reverend Susan Eby. So we work together, and it's a joy to work with people who are interested in new thought and freedom of diversity and staying positive and applying spiritual principles to create a better life and a better world. So I just feel so blessed to be part of this whole Unity community effort in Medford, Oregon. I'd also want to share something that was good that happened to me recently. It started off kind of bad, as things do. A number of weeks ago, I was having a little trouble with my breathing. And of course, this is scary given the COVID situation, right? It got so bad that I couldn't sleep at night. I was wheezing terribly, and I had to get out of bed and get myself situated in a lazy boy chair here. You know what I mean? Those lazy boy chairs are real comfortable, but it kept me upright. But the wheezing was terrible, so I don't like to go to the doctor. But my wife said, "Gary, this isn't normal. Get in and see the doctor." So I did go in and see the doctor. I took a COVID test. He examined me, and he said I had the beginnings of pneumonia. I mean, this is crazy. I've never had that kind of a situation before. And so the doctor prescribed some medications. And of course, when I got home, I started praying and meditating like crazy. I wasn't just going to rely upon the medication. I was going to do what I needed to do to facilitate my immune system and connect with the presence of all that is sacred and divine in the universe. And to make a long story short, it all worked out. Medications were helpful. The COVID test turned out negative, which was a huge relief. And today, I'm just about 100%. As you can tell, my breathing isn't so bad. So That's my positive experience, and I hope that gives all of you some hope too, to see that no matter what's happening, when we connect with the power of the positive, we can get through it. How does that sound to you?
I think taking a nice deep breath sounds great.
All right, breathing,
Sounds great.
probably the most important thing of all, right?